Good morning. It is time, once again, to just draw. As always, I'm gonna warm up. So, yeah. I do feel as though the cone is just my worst shape. I don't know if y'all can relate, if there are any cone deniers out there. I feel like I have a hard time communicating the full shape of it. Like, it's always like, it always looks kind of like a half cone. Almost, kind of like this. Like it. Well, that doesn't. Sort of the bottom being this kind of half circle type shape. But it's okay. That's why we do this. Yeah, this new pen that I got, I love it, but it's just it is quite difficult to control the pressure, and that's why I get crazy lines like this. It's like, I promise I can draw straight-ish lines. Not the straightest in the world, but straight-ish. But this pen just has so much control that allows me to really control the pressure, and there are some uneven lines, that is for sure. Yeah, whenever I'm warming up, I just try and like do my best to get like lines down because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I need to in order for me to like be able to actually produce like somewhat straight lines. So it has to just I just have to spend some time getting kind of warmed up. Plus, I really want to try and get a lot of mileage on this pen because I think I'm gonna main this pen. So because it's so nice and it's got these refillable cartridges, which I really like. Um, so as long as you take good care of this, you could just you know keep using this pen. So I really like it. And I've used the other Pentel brushes, and I do like them, but I know there's you know, forgive me for how I'm gonna pronounce this, the Fude brush. I don't know if that's exactly how you pronounce it. This thing, and I subscribe to Amazon, and I get these like every month because I was going through them like crazy. But like, thing is I feel as though I can't really get as good of a performance with it as other pens like this one for example. This thing just ink just pours out of it. It's like effortless. And with that, I felt like if I didn't have the right paper and stuff like that, it just didn't really do the thing, you know? So, but yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to gear my warm-ups at this point, especially with this pen more towards line control because my line control is just dreadful with it. But it's okay. We'll get there. New sensitivity type beat. So just gotta keep working. But this pen is just so fun to use. Yeesh. Yeah, I think it's important to always like make your drawing setup be as fun as possible. Or art, or whatever you do. If you can enjoy what you're doing, then no effort is wasted. Even when it's like a fail, even when your lines look terrible, like how these, kind of look right now. Not the worst in the world, but you get the idea. And then as long as you stay consistent, it's only a matter of time. But yeah, I'm gonna do these streams like probably not even probably, I'm going to do them every day um, until until I'm goaded, until I'm good or better. But I mean, it's important to always think you can get better. But I thought this would be a good idea for a lot of reasons. It's a good thing to be consistent and adding some like accountability, social accountability. Stuttering is good. So to have you guys here to be like, where's the stream type deal? Because letting yourself down is one thing, but letting somebody else down is brutal. Brutal. So, Plus, these days, everything is about content. And so it's about making stuff, that would, I guess, normally be less marketable into something that's more marketable. Turn it into like a YouTube short or something like that. And hopefully the setup will improve. I think it will. As long as I just keep going. Yesterday, I did stream. I will admit. I ended up getting rid of it, which I'm gonna avoid doing from now on because I'm a perfectionist, and I think I think I could find an issue with literally everything, and so I'm gonna avoid doing that. But I did do it. But I kind of streamed with the idea of me doing it because I wanted to, with the idea of getting rid of it, because I kind of wanted to work up the courage, and I don't know, just kind of make things seem less I wanted to make things seem less lower stakes, But one thing I'm very guilty of is making things seem very graphic, like a graphic, not like explicit. But like I feel like a lot of stuff that I make seems very like flat. So I want to work on three dimensionality and like also using my pen to have varied, line weights and hopefully make things seem a bit more interesting with my lines because they are like I tend to just draw one thickness. You know, I'm not much of like a min maxer, so to speak. Like, I feel like I don't often try really hard to make like these small little changes and that type of stuff. And perhaps it's because I'm not at that level yet. But sometimes I think that just genuine effort kind of eclipses all the little tips and tricks, you know? But I will say the one thing that I have been doing, and it's been really difficult genuinely, is I've been trying to quit caffeine because I was slamming back energy drinks, like definitely like abusing them. And I'm telling you, my hands would be so shaky. And if you think this line work is shaky, I mean, just what I mean, if you could only see, it was like it was very shaky. So, and I don't feel like I particularly have one way or another stable or shaky. I think I'm just somewhere in the middle. Just putting lines down. Another thing with the stream that is now lost to time is I had my timer or had the sound on for this timer and it blew out the audio. Like, it was so loud. So I literally have no idea how the audio is going to be for this. I will have to see and fix it if need be. Which probably will. That is a lot of lines, Trevor. I don't know what I feel like drawing today. Yesterday I did pirates, and that was quite fun. I'm thinking about doing something different today. I don't know what yet, though. I think that's a decent amount of lines. I'm feeling pretty warm, I would say. The cap for this thing gets stuck, though, I will say. Like when I put it in the back, which maybe isn't a bad thing, because as time goes on, it will kind of get less and less stuck. All right. 5-minute break for breakfast time, because it is 7 a.m. where I am. So I shall return. Hello, I am back. I think I might make like a be right back screen, but I think it would be cool if I did like practical effects for the stream. Let me know what y'all think. I think that would be actually like really cool. Like if I just had like a piece of paper that I like slide out that says like be right back or something. For now, I just got this chicken. I got this chicken at a at an art museum in. Oh God. Well, now it's blanking to me. I don't remember. I don't remember. I was gonna say like somewhere in Ohio, but I think it was Michigan actually. On like the west side of the state. But anywho, they did like a little scavenger hunt. So you like went through and like they like asked you to like find certain things in like every art piece, and it was a very small art museum, but like close to my favorite. And like I'm from Michigan, so like we have like the DIA, which is like the DIA is really good. Definitely one of the best in the country, I would say. Um, like we have Van Gogh right now, and it's really cool. But even still, the small one that I went to in the west side of the state was really cool, and you got a sticker for achieving the scavenger hunt and getting all the things done. And there was this chicken uh, sticker, and they're all like based off paintings. But this one had its butt cut off, and I was like, I want that one. So, yeah. Anyhow, all right. Um, Probably time to do more drawing. I don't know. This is probably just a note for mostly me, but I think I'm gonna start playing like music or like rain sounds. I still don't know the kind of vibe that I want to do for this stream. Um, and actually, my girlfriend was just saying like it's gonna just kind of it's gonna come about naturally, so I shouldn't force it. And I think I'm not going to. I'm just gonna do the thing and let the pieces fall where they may. Which I feel like that's a good thing to do in life in general, is to just do that. If you think about the what ifs and you think about the possibilities, um, you would be here for eternity. And I definitely think that's something that I've done a lot in my life, is just worry about that stuff. But like you got to just kind of do it, you know, and things will happen how they will. So yeah. Anyhow, usually for the big water bottle, usually for the second part of the second drawing cycle that I do, I'm doing like Pomodoro, and for those of you who don't know what it is, it's just like a working cycle that people usually use to study, where it's like 25 minutes of work, 5 minute break, 25, 5. You do that like 4 times, and then you take like a 30-minute break. So I've just done one cycle, and I'm going to be here till like 12, so that's the goal anyway. So, um, yeah, but yeah, that's the goal. But anyway, so usually I like to do warm up, and then for the second one, I try to do like drawing drills, or like really practice something before I like try and like make some sort of work. And so I think that I'm gonna work on hands because yesterday I was drawing hands and they didn't look the greatest, and so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drill it because I don't know. I A little bit of background on myself is I did go to school for art, and I got a digital art degree, bachelor's of arts, but with like a specialization in digital art. I learned like Photoshop and stuff like that. And I'm somebody who kind of knew that like I always wanted to be an artist because like creating is like basically what I live for. And so I kind of knew that that was what I always wanted to do. But honestly, I didn't take things the most serious, and especially through school, I kind of just like went through the motions to do stuff, and like I don't have any work from school that I'm proud of, like just genuinely. Um, there's like maybe one thing that I kind of like, but like it's not even I don't even like it that much. Um, so anyhow, needless to say, I didn't do things how I should have, and I didn't practice as much as I should have. Um, or I think the more apt thing to say is I didn't apply myself, and I didn't do like a lot of applied practice. So, long story short, I, despite going through that, don't have a lot to show for it. And, you know, I kind of had this realization lately where I'm like, man, if I don't absolutely just push myself really hard, I won't get to where I wanted to go. And honestly, the thing that's kind of kept me from that is fear, just genuinely. I think I've been like afraid to like make a mistake, but in doing so, I made like ultimately a bigger mistake, and that is that I didn't do stuff, and so I kind of have had to like reteach myself how to draw, and I've been like going back through the basics and stuff, and a lot of the education that I got in the art world was like a lot of the mental stuff was really helpful because a lot of it was like, okay, this is how you take criticism, and you should, you know, here are the different avenues of art you can take, and you should try and market yourself and stuff like that. And that I'm very thankful for because I think it birthed a great mentality, especially with like taking criticism and stuff like that. Because when you get critique, that's like the pathway to the right thing, right? That's how you improve. Um, but a lot of the stuff, as far as like techniques and all that, I wasn't really taught any techniques. It would just be like, hey, do this. It would be like, hey, draw this, and it's like, okay, but like how though? And unfortunately, and I actually have talked to some of my other classmates, and they definitely agree. It kind of birthday mentality, and I see this a lot in social media where people just straight up copy images. Like you'll see a photo of like a tree. Not saying plagiarizing, but I just mean like you'll see like a photo of a tree and you just draw that tree, and it's like I can copy, great, but as soon as it's got to come out of this noodle right here, it's not so great. And so I'm trying to um, target my approach like that because just from other things in my life, I know I have that vivid imagination to like birth cool things, um, but just not the um, technical aspect of it. And so, yeah, that's kind of my background and stuff. I figured I would just say that now so that we can just move on. I think I want the focus mostly for these streams to be like just me actually working really hard. And so the setup is likely going to change. I think I might want to make things just feel more aesthetic. Um, and so, I don't know. But for now, this is what it is. So, we'll see. But, okay, hands time. short thumb. Boy. A really good practice is to just be really analytical of the drawings that you do so you don't make the same mistakes. Like, these thumbs are both really short and, like, pretty stubby. So, um, they could, they could use some work. And if you just learn from it, then it doesn't have to happen again. And you can keep going. do not know why I keep doing the tiniest thumbs in the world. Not the move, not good. Well, geez, now I overcorrected. Okay. I think it's time to review this stuff because I've just been drawing kind of from memory and seeing what I can do. I think it's time to just kind of go over everything and see about making some changes. And I think I'll do another like 25-minute like session for my third one, trying to improve upon the things that I've drawn. So yeah, let's do that. Let's get like a pen or something and let's make a review of like what has been going wrong. I think I have like a pen probably. I think this one works. Okay, cool. Alright, so like, let's see. What are we noticing? Like, my proportions are like wonky for sure. But I think mainly the thing that's weird is the width, because like if you look at this hand right here, the proportions are fine, like kind of being almost half and half, like that makes sense for the fingers, but the thumb is too wide. And that's kind of the same with this one here, it's too wide. So I think what I'm having trouble with is dividing up the width of the hand, maybe not so much the length, although the length in this is pretty, well, I suppose maybe it's not horrible, just the thumb is too big. So that's kind of my thing, is everything is too wide, like this pinky is too wide. So that's the main thing, is I just want to get the proportions of the fingers right. So how thick and thin they are, you know, is something that I need to work on, and I think I just am making them a little bit too chunky. So that's one thing. And then another thing is, when I'm drawing from memory, I don't know if you guys have this problem, but I do. I feel like the thing that I struggle with is a lot of times I have these situations where I will start drawing without like a clear image in my mind, and it's okay to do that sometimes and like set rules, but like I think once I put a finger down, once I draw like a line top of the hand or something like that, kind of consider what everything's gonna be and carve that image out in my mind, kind of spawn it in my mind, so that when I'm drawing I don't do things like this where I drew the fingers way too like thick, and then now I don't have not enough room, so that's kind of poor planning. So I think the key is to just slow down. We'll write like a little takeaway thing here. It's to slow down, avoid sausage fingers, and then plan out full shape of hand, because that's definitely something that I'm not doing the greatest on, is just planning out a full thing. So let's do it. I still have 5 minutes. That's definitely enough time to make like a hand drawing. Let's let's take this into account and let's move to the next page and try and I'm gonna try and draw one hand that's like passable, that's decent. So that is the plan. I can already tell I'm falling into the same traps. Look how wide this is compared to the shortness of my fingers and the fingers. So I'm just gonna try again. Cause at the end of the day, if I drew this, like if I just did like cartoon fingers, that's pretty. I mean, look at that width. So it's too wide. So that's okay. Let's try again. I still have time. Okay, definitely a lot better. Not the greatest, and I keep drawing it kind of tilted. Instead of like this, it's more like this. It's fine though. Honestly, it's definitely better as far as the dimensions go. It's kind of divided into two halves, which is good, and the widths look pretty good. Um, I think maybe after this 5 minute break here, I'm going to try and do some more better renditions and try and add some more dimensionality to it. So that's the plan. Ugh. POV, I'm muted. Most embarrassing thing in the world. So I'm thinking, I am going to try and draw kind of a model. Because, in art, if you can break things down to its simplest form, it can help you understand. So, a little insight as to where I am. I've been kind of going through, like I said, redoing a lot of the basics and kind of applying myself. And not that anatomy is basic, but that's just something that you would have applied yourself to and really learned in art school, which I did, and I have an understanding of it, but not the greatest technical knowledge. And when it comes to me doing things from memory, it's not great. Not where I want to be yet, but that's okay. Just gotta keep going. But so my process looks something like this. So what I will usually do is I'll look at reference. So step 1 is to look at reference. So I'll look at a picture of a hand or my hand or something. I will then, step 2, draw from reference. I look at a picture of my hand, I'll draw it. So I'd look at this and I would draw it. Step 3 is to draw it from memory. Then step 4 is to go, while I'm drawing these with really fat fingers and like bad proportions, fix mistakes. And then step 5 is to repeat until kind of hammer it out. Now, when I'm drawing from reference here, what I like to do is I usually like to, if I can, make like some sort of, like break it down into simple forms. And I haven't done that with hands, to be honest. But when you're drawing like a head, for example, you can kind of draw this, sort of loaf type shape, loaf and then cheese. That's kind of how I've been viewing it, right? Loaf and cheese, whatever. Just things like that, breaking it down into simple forms. And it's not really what I've done so far with the hand, and so it's just something I should work on. Drawing a torso. You get the idea. Simple shapes, simple forms. So I'm thinking that I should try and do that with a hand. And I'm going to just keep trying and failing with this pen until I get proficiency with it. I mean, this is only day 1 of a very, very long, hopefully, journey. And, I'd like to just continue to do this. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah. Anywho. I guess let's just go for another cycle. I'm gonna try and build somewhat of a break it down in simple forms. Oops, I don't want to use this. Break it down to simple forms, and that's my plan. So I'm probably gonna get a reference out, just so that I can get things kind of in my head and make it accurate. And I think that should be adequate. Turn this up. So yeah, the hand is definitely this kind of sort of box shape with like a little extra bit tacked on for the thumb. And the fingers are these 3 segments. It's kind of thumb kind of has this bean shape to it. But I feel like maybe not so much the other fingertips have that. Sorry, I'm just pulling up a hand reference. Well, I would say that helped out. Um, Sometimes it's just important to remember that type of stuff. Like, if you break it down, it will look good, you know? Also, I have a feeling this audio is just absolutely cooked. So, I will have to see. Um, yeah, I'll just have to see. um, I think in the future I probably won't do as much chatting, depending on the type of stream that it is and stuff. And as my setup improves, we'll see. Well, minus this thumb here, everything looks pretty good. The hand looks a lot better, so I am very happy with that. Sometimes you just have to slow things down. Well, actually, not even sometimes, just basically all the time. At least for me. I don't know if y'all relate, but geez, maybe I'll spend today doing hands. Suppose I was unsure of what I wanted to do. I don't know if you guys have ever read or heard of Dynamic Anatomy by Hogarth, like the book. But I've always known about the book, but I never had it. And my girlfriend just got me it recently when she went out on a trip. And it has been so cool. Like, it's an instructional, like, anatomy book, but, like, it's literally so good that I, like, it, like, almost needs to be, like, viewed as just like, a collective artwork book, you know? Like, the stuff in it is so good that it's just so difficult. Like, well, the stuff in it is so good that when I see it, I'm like, this is just like, this should just be like on a poster or like in a frame. This is just really good. So, I mean, maybe not the cleanest in the world, but pretty decent. Getting better, getting better. I think one thing that I do is the, in a hand, in a finger, you have these two knuckles, right? And they create divots, kinda, if that makes sense. You know, you've got these two knuckles that sort of jut out. I mean, I guess I have pretty straight fingers, but you get the idea. and then you have two divots on the inside that kind of go in. So it's somewhat like this on the inside, and then you have these knuckles that kind of jut out like that. And I feel like when I draw, I just haphazardly place them. And yeah, I feel like I just haphazardly place them. And so that's something I'd like to work on for sure. You know, like, what is that? Not great. So that's when you pull out some sort of reference or book and figure that out. Oh, so I'm going to grab one. This is that book that I was literally just speaking about. I mean, I probably can't show a lot of this stuff because there's a lot of nudity in it, but you see, like, oh my god. Oh my god. So good. If I could draw hands like this, I would be a happy man. Like, are you serious? It's incredible. I love how volumetric everything he draws is. It's so, like, it feels like it could jump out of the page and, like, punch me. But I'm going to try and use some of these as reference and try and kind of drill in some better hands. I think I'm just going to do hands for a little bit. At least one more cycle until I can get to a place where I'm pretty happy with it, because I mean, hands are hard and, you know, everybody struggles with them. So it's not an easy thing, but I'm gonna just keep hitting it for today, I think, and just really drill them. So it's kind of the plan. Because I feel like for the most part, like with everything else, I have like a pretty solid understanding with human anatomy or with the body in general. I mean, I'm not saying I'm perfect, and I can definitely do some more gesture drawing, and I plan on doing it, especially for this month here, as I want to do a lot of anatomy stuff. But the important thing is to do things you enjoy, and I think human anatomy is extremely interesting, and just something I enjoy drawing. So I'm going to continue to do it. What I love about I love when artists will draw fingers that like really accentuate the bones, like the bones are kind of these almost like snakehead shapes, you know? Okay, well, that looks rather illicit. Quick! Change it into something different. Gotta be careful. Okay. But you get the idea. Boy, that might be an off-stream study type thing to work on. I mean, this is quite exaggerated, but you get the idea. It's kind of this really cool, like, I like these bumps. It's like very interesting. Oh my god, this I've just yawned like 500 times today. With me not with me trying to quit caffeine, it's been crazy for sure. I think taking some time understanding like what's actually inside a hand would really help because I feel like I'm not as familiar as I should be with the structural makeup of a hand, you know? Hmm. Wonder if my pen's running out a little bit. Certainly feels that way. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out so far. I feel like I'm doing a bit better of a job. Sometimes just seeing like a little reference or something can really help. I am going to check and see. Oh, and I'm also out of time. I am going to check and see about this ink cartridge, because I think it might be empty. Oh, pretty empty. Oh, it's a good thing I've got another. Already better than that. I mean, just this pen is just so awesome. I literally love using it. Okay, well, time to take a break. It's always good to take a break. If you're wondering what I do when I go for a break, it's literally I just go down and I look out my window. My view from the window that I have right here is not that good. I literally just go and like look out my window. Bro staring longingly into the distance, but I just stare out and try and rest my eyes and my hand too. But these were from reference. But I really like the shapes of these, and I feel like I'm starting to make more sense about the placement of the knuckles and the placement of the divots in the fingers and kind of how they look, and also the proportions a bit more. And so I think what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and do some from memory here using this newfound knowledge. And yeah, so I'll be back in like 5. You can look at this chicken guy. Yo, I'm back. How long have you been streaming for? Like 2 hours? Okay. Um. Circle back in, I suppose. This is my fourth cycle moving into, I think. Or was that? Let's see. Warm up, hands revised. This one. Oh, I think I'm supposed to take a longer break, but it's okay. Today has been a little disjointed, I'll tell you that. But that's to be expected with the first stream. So, yeah. But I guess I'll just clock back in. Hmm. Okay, not my greatest performance. See, this is an example of me trying to draw two things. Like I'm trying to draw like a very sh- like straight side angle. Do you know what I'm saying? Where it's like kind of like this. And then I'm also trying to draw one where it's like very front facing, like all directly in line with one another. So, either is fine. Just make up your mind. Make up your mind, pal. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. Um, I feel like learning a lot about the structure really helped me kind of understand everything. Bro, try not to yawn. Impossible challenge. Oof. Well, that ain't great. So the strongest desire to draw Count Olaf. So I'm about to try and draw him. I don't know if y'all know who Count Olaf is. uh, Dude, one thing I have a really bad habit of is I just lean really far, and so when I draw, things get really, like when a head would normally be like this, it ends up being like this. But like from my angle, it looks really good. So like when you look at this, if I tilt it more like, somewhat like this, something like it like looks a little bit better because like it's very oblong. I just had to fix that, which requires me to stand more upright, which I will do for the rest of the stream. So yeah. Yeah, one thing that I'm trying to do is really focus on priding myself on efforts over results because efforts are the thing that creates results. And sometimes when things don't go my way, especially like at the beginning of the stream, it's very easy for me to be like, dude, like, what am I doing this for? And somewhat kind of want to give up. But if you just persevere and you keep putting in effort, you will get to where you want to go. Wait, wrong side. we take those. Not too mad at that. Not too mad at that at all. Ugh. Yeah, I want to start to do this for longer eventually. I think for today, I might just do one more cycle. Or this might be my last one. Simply because I'm pretty sure the audio is just completely blown out. I mean, I'm looking at the audio right now, and I can definitely tell you it's blown out. But as my focus gets better as well, I'll be able to do this more. One thing I have to stop doing as well is I feel like I very commonly will draw things from the back first, despite things like being in the way, even though I know it's going to be in the way. So that's something I have to work on too. I'll have to like write that down as like a little takeaway. But yeah, I definitely think that kind of understanding the shapes of the fingers has really helped. You know, and I feel like it might seem obvious at first. It's like, well, duh, like that's why we study anatomy, and it's like, that's true, but I think that seeing it in action is something completely different. Because if you can understand like the inner mechanics of it and you can draw things like really simply, it becomes like second nature, and it becomes a lot easier to just imagine scenarios. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I'm gonna have to order more of these. I have to order more of these pen cartridges here. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how things have turned out. I got a decent amount in. Definitely in the future, I'm gonna want to do this longer, and hopefully, as my focus gets better, I can do it for longer too, and the setup will hopefully improve. But I'm gonna like rewatch this and like see what it is and toy around with it for a little bit, and hopefully make things better. And then I'm gonna hopefully do vlogs on the weekend as well. So that is kind of the plan. But thank you everybody for joining me, all 0 of you. I love you dearly, and